If you have not yet booked your place on NG Poland and JS Poland, this is a good time. These events promise to be epic. We will host the stars of Angular and JavaScript from all over the world, who will come to Warsaw to do their best. This will make your career soar like a rocket. Don't wait, do it now. What's up, everyone? This is Dariusz Kalbarczyk, co-founder of NG Poland, JS Poland, AngularMaster.dev and WorkshopFest.dev. Welcome back to Angular Master Podcast. Today, we've got a special guest from Warsaw, Poland, a senior front-end developer, BigPicture. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamil Gałek. Hi, Kamil. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Thank you. Okay, Kamil, please tell us a few words about yourself. What do you do on daily basis?
Yeah, I'm a front-end developer at BigPicture. It's not a big company in Warsaw. I'm working in Angular. It's my daily framework, but I know React and Vue and Svelte too. So I'm not avoiding any kind of content stuff, any kind of programming stuff. I like it. But of course, we are going to speak about Angular. Yes.
Exactly. Tell me more about the BigPicture. What is it?
BigPicture is an app and a company that make it. The main objective of the application is to deal with portfolio project management. So our app is used by huge companies around the world. We estimate that we have about 3 million users. It's something around 30,000 teams around the world. Everything, every piece
it's
of
a lot.
content. Yeah, it's a lot. In fact, it's one of the most used project portfolio management app that is known on the whole world. And yeah, we are proud of it. And it's totally a Polish product. So the team behind this app is not so huge. The whole front end is written in Angular, right now in Angular 12, so we are keeping up to date. And it's a huge app. Even the same front end part is really, really big. And if you add the probably twice as that of backend, it's like, I don't know, really huge app.
One more question about the BigPicture. It is a startup? You see it as a startup or?
Right now, it's not a startup. It's around 170 people.
Okay.
We work as a regular company, but the atmosphere that we have is like startup. We are really happy to work in the way we work. It's really electric atmosphere there. Even when we are at home office, everything is remote, but atmosphere is always hot.
Okay, that's great. Can you describe what is the biggest problem with a huge apps?
I think that's, of course, the biggest problem with huge apps is the scale. So you have a huge code base, and you have to deal with a lot of things. So you have to deal with bugs. You have to deal with performance. You have to deal with almost everything that you have in small app, but the scale is very high. So maybe an example: when you have, let's say, a huge app, about 1,000 of components, and you want to change the state management library to another one because you found that there is a performance problem, So in small app, you're able to do it, I don't know, in day, 2, maybe a week, In medium size, week, month, something like that. Do you want to guess how much time you need to change the state management of whole app of 1,000 components? How much time it should take?
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not possible to calculate. The number of variables are so high, the number of components is so high, and there is no answer how much time it should take because we don't know what happened during the whole process. So it's the biggest problem, and there is one quite easy solution for it, but it's time consuming. You have to plan everything in advance. you have to do incremental changes, and probably most easiest one can use to solve all of the problems to get from point A when you have old lib and to point B when you replace the whole usage of old library with new library. Of course, there are other problems. Huge apps have issues with building time, the tendency to become legacy, many performance issues, and so on. And it's possible to deal with it with a good plan, good and aware devs. It's very important to have aware devs because they have to know that they're working with hard project and have to know that it's not easy. But after all, you can do it with incremental changes.
What is an incremental changes approach?
Incremental change approach is the way of making changes. Instead of doing one huge, time-consuming and very risky change, you should try to change small pieces and in short period of time.
So baby steps.
Like baby steps. And it's nothing new because we know these mindsets under very different names. In programming, one of the first things you learn is that you should decompose the problem into smaller ones, so you can easily deal with it. And for incremental changes, it's almost the same thing, but it's not applied to code base, but to the state of the app, not the state management, but the state. So you want to get from state A, where something is not as it should be, to point B, where something is better, to point C, better and better, and so on. It's never ending, and it's basically the main idea, to split huge problem into smaller ones and trying to deal with the whole thing in period of time. So maybe let's go back to our example. So if we want to change state management lib in our 1,000 component app, we should start with something smaller, yes? Yeah, we should start with a proof of concept, because we don't know if new lib will fix our performance issues. So we should try it. After that, we should find a good practices of using it. We should prepare a reference piece of code for our devs. They should have a piece of code they can look and use as an example of using, of testing, and so on. So after that, you should hand it over to the devs, and in period of time, they will rewrite the whole thing, but they need to have some kind of example, some kind of good practices, and everything should be checked. Even if it's changing in period of time, you should check every change. And yeah, even in that huge app that is 1,000 components, and it's incredibly huge, but I heard about 3,000 components apps in Poland. So there is at least one app that's huge. And it's not easy to do it, because if you want to do incremental changes, you have to predict. You have to know your domain, you have to know your company, the conditions, and everything. Oh, I forgot to mention that you should set the tools that will help you as soon as possible, because automatic checking is very important in incremental changes.
So what kind of tools can help you with that?
Let's start with the simplest one, like ESLint. So a lot of people use ESLint only to lint files, and it's okay. It was designed to do it. But if you configure it in another way, so you'll check for bad practices only in new files. So for example, if we ban usage of old library in new files, it will not spread out in new files. So it's very important to set it, and it's only ESLint. We have style lint, we have other kinds of lints, and of course, other kinds of tools. One of the lesser known, but totally awesome tool is Betterer. Betterer is a test framework written by one of the devs from Spotify. And it's a testing framework, but it's nothing similar to units or to end-to-end tests. It's dedicated for incremental changes approach. So you define goals that you want to achieve in period of time, and it will check for you if the progress. So you can, for example, define that you want to erase every usage of any keyword on your code base, because we all know that any is bad. and you have, for example, 100 usages of any, and Betterer will allow you to write the test that will keep the changes, and it will allow you only to reduce number of any's. So nobody will push new file with any. It will just blow the continuous integration, and that's all. Really cool project, really worth to check, in my opinion. We use it, and it just works. And it helps us with regression. So if we agree on new practice that we are going to do something like, I don't know, in new way, constructors in new way, we can set the Betterer, and it will keep new files clean, but it's not necessary to change every old file. And it's important because if we try to change severity of SLint from warning to error, we have to clean all of the old code base. Yeah. When we set Betterer, it says, yeah, this change should only reduce the number, but in new files you cannot use that old style types or something else. Yeah, it's quite abstract thing, but really worth it to try.
That's a really cool tool. I need to try it. Are there any other challenges during work with that big app?
Oh yeah, I mentioned the build time, and it's hard to do because there is very little knowledge on internet how to speed up an Angular build, and basically everything is in Angular JSON, so you cannot mess with Webpack directly. And for me, it's not great, but still you can improve a build time, and it's very important to have short build time so your devs are happy, because the time from hitting save to seeing the change on screen is very important. If it takes a long time, they will get angry, and nobody wants to work in a place where you wait for changes like, I don't know, half a minute. It's insane. Okay. With a big, complicated and hard project, it's very important to find tasks for developers with very different experience levels. It's not easy because not everything is easy to fix, not everything is easy to develop. So you have to, I don't know how, but you should find a way of assigning tasks to right devs, so they can improve their skills, and they should be happy of working in that hard project, and the satisfaction after a day of work that they get to know new things, they fix hard problem, and today every problem is harder and harder, is very important, because same project is hard, so you don't want to make life harder. And code organization is another problem. So if you have 1,000 components, you have to organize your code somehow. And right now we have two recommended ways. First one is monorepositories. Second one is Microfrontend.
Do you use monorepository pattern, yeah?
Yeah, we do. Both of those solutions have pros and cons, but monorepositories allow you to manage huge code bases quite easily. You can use the same components in every app you have, and everything is in one place. And it's very easy for everyone to understand where it is. And
so why not Microfrontend?
Okay, so the main problem with Microfrontends is that it's awesome in Angular, of course. We have platform and we can communicate Microfrontends, but it was designed for cloud-based apps. So you just have small apps that you can deploy independently. You can replace small part of your application, and it's easy. Yeah. But if you have on-premise app on your client server, you cannot ask your client to access the server every few days and update your app. It's insane. So Microfrontends are quite hard for on-premise installs. And BigPicture has two versions. One is cloud-based, and microfrontends would work there. And second one is on-premise. So we choose the monorepo. It was the better option, but still microfrontends totally awesome in Angular.
What kind of performance issues do you have to solve in BigPicture?
Okay, I think the quite standard performance issue is page load time. So you need to short the time from page refresh to first contentful paint, and it's very important. But it's well described on internet. Every performance tutorial will tell you you should shrink that time. We have a lot of cool tools like Lighthouse or internal dev tools of Chrome, and it's nothing new. We knew how to do it. It's described, and for me, it's like standard procedure right now. But the second time is a build time performance. We talk about it few minutes later, a few minutes before, and it's very important to have it short. In dev environment, it should be short. It can be as long as you want in production, but it have to be short because, as I said, if it takes a lot of time, people will get angry and nobody wants to develop that app. And the third part of performance issues are my favorite problems. So JavaScript runtime performance and rendering issues. There is almost nothing on the internet about it. So every problem is like a riddle. You have to find a way of solving. You have to find the main problem, and it's hard. It's not described, and it's like secret knowledge. And so it's fun because it takes a lot of time, and every time you need to investigate that, it's something new. It's not always the same thing. So yeah, it's a really cool thing, and I would like to know a lot about this kind of stuff. But as I said, it's like secret knowledge. You cannot learn from internet. You cannot learn from anybody because every time they learn something new and they are trying to solve it. And I think that the whole BigPicture team is doing a great job in terms of performance, because it's for us it's like a highest priority of the things we can do. We should always focus on performance. It's important for our customers and it's important for us.
How often do you have to work with performance?
Performance is not something that you can fix, in my opinion. Always page can load faster, so we are always ready to try new things and optimize our app. It's never-ending story.
Okay. So it is possible to do some kind of automatic process that help you with incremental changes on performance issues.
Yeah, some aspects of performance checking can be measured and can be measured automatically. So you can get something like reports that in this day your app was that fast and a few days later it was that fast. And yeah, some kinds of measurement can be done automatically. We have one quite interesting, I think, internal framework. So we have solution that is able to measure performance of rendering and starting of our components. So we created a solution that encapsulates a component without any endpoints, with mocked data and with specific settings, and we are able to find if our component works as fast as month ago. Yeah, so we know that if we can deploy the thing and it's fast or faster than it was, and it's interesting because I know that Angular team has something similar to check between versions of Angular, so they can leave us a message that Angular 12 is a few percent faster than 11 and so on. And what is interesting, we found that there is a performance drop between Angular 9 and 12, and it was a huge drop. But I don't want to worry you, calm down, because it was connected to the very specific structure of components. And I'm sure that not a lot of apps are affected by this problem. Right now, we fix all of this. There is a ticket on Angular repository. But as I said, this framework was like something awesome for us. We found that we cannot upgrade from Angular 9 to 12 because app will slow down.
Okay, wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah, when you have that big app, you have to deal with this kind of stuff. And it's super awesome because in smaller apps, you'll never have these kind of problems.
Yeah, exactly. Kamil, it was my last technical question. I have few more non-technical. What do you think about that?
Okay, let's start. I'm a little bit afraid about them.
I really like these questions. What kind of person is Kamil? How do you see yourself?
Yeah, I was afraid about this one. So, so I don't know how to describe myself. I always wanted to work with computers, so I'm living my dream, and I just love to be developer. I'm writing code at work, I write code at home, sometimes I even write code when I sleep. So I'm living my dream. And I don't mind creating a backend or frontend code or any kind of code. Not so long ago, I created and open source even an Arduino code in C++ that is far away from a frontend that is my daily basis. So I'm trying to do my best in programming. Programming is just fascinating me. And of course, I'm trying to share my knowledge and skills, and I think it's important part of myself. I'm a speaker on conferences too. It's just a great opportunity to share my passion for code and so on. So, I think it's important part of me. The second one that probably is good to mention here, that I'm always trying to change few things for better. For example, in IT world, since I started doing technical interviews, I found out that you should always summarize every interview. So I'm just going through all of the questions that I asked, and I tell the candidate that was good, that was right. The answer was not full, and if something was bad, I'm trying to say what's the answer, how it works, or recommend book, article, or something. And I think it's very important to do it, because if you don't do it, your candidates don't know what happened. And it works. I'm trying to share this knowledge. I'm trying to share this practice along my friends and company, and it just works. It's worth to do it. It looks strange because for all of the years, nobody did something like that for me. So
okay,
I'm trying to do it for another candidates. So maybe world will change in that way, because it looks quite nice.
That's amazing. Well said. Thank you. So, do you have any hints for us regarding self-organization?
Another hard one.
I like it.
So maybe let's start that self-organization is a lot easier when you have daily routines. So you get up on the same hour, you work for 8 hours, not more. It's quite important to stay with 8 hours. In my opinion, it's worth investing in your home environment. So a standing desk, good mechanical keyboards, good mouse, very good screen are very important and worth every penny spent. And it helps you with focus, and it helps you with the whole self-organization. When you want to go to the room where you have every piece of cool stuff, you want to work, and it's a lot easier. But I think that everybody should find their own way of self-organization. My tip is that try to get up at the same hour every day and try to make your environment as friendly as possible.
Amazing. Do you have any favorite hobbies?
Oh,
I know,
okay.
programming.
Programming is my long-term passion, and nothing changed since, I don't know, 10 years or something like that. But I have a lot of other hobbies. Few of them were very short term, but for the long terms, I love to cook. I'm playing a guitar. Someday I found out that I like to make things. So in my life, I was making in my free time leather wallets, guitar effect pedals, because it was connected to the guitar passion. During the second wave of coronavirus, I made an electric guitar in my flat in Warsaw.
Wow.
And it was insane because the dust was everywhere and so on. But I found a video of a guy who was making their own guitar with one hand because the second one was broken. And I thought that if he can do it with one hand, I should be able to do it with two hands at home. And it's totally awesome to make your own guitar at home. So I tried it and it works. It's not that hard. It's after, I think that it took me about 3 weeks to end it, but I just like to make things. And for me, it's like fun that I can try new things and make something that I like, that I use every day, and like wallets or guitars. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, man. What kind of music you play?
Oh, that is a hard question because for I don't know how many years I'm trying to learn how to play guitar very well, and I'm just playing what my teacher says me to play because in programming you have challenges. So if you play something, you always can play something better. And after when I'm happy with my skills, he goes, check out this piece of music, and I'm wow. I'm not going to play it. It's too hard. And after a few months, I'm playing it, and again he's going with new piece of music that is main blow. So I think my daily driver is rock or rock related music, but I played a lot of blues. I played a lot of any kind of music. If it's a challenge, I'm trying to do it.
Wow. So I play the bass, by the way, and I'm big fan of the effects we use. You said you create your own pedalboard. I have also a really big two big pedalboards, and I change the pedals every week. It's not every month. Every week I change something, and I really love it.
It's funny because I think I created something around 50 effects, and during the pandemic I sold them out. Every effect I had, I sold them out, and I changed it into digital one from Line 6. Just to play through the internet, because even during pandemic I had the lessons through the internet, and it's a lot easier to connect something that emulates a whole stack, and it's worth to invest it if you want to play through the internet or play on your headphones. But I sold them out, and I'm not sure if I will not create some more. Because right now I have only this one digital, and that's strange. I had 50 effects.
Exactly.
Right now I have only one.
Only one, exactly. One for everything. So what's about your work-life balance? Do you have some hints for our audience?
I think that the most important thing during the pandemic, even in office, you should take a breaks. And it's important because it helps you not to feel tired at the end of the day. And when you're remote working, it's even harder because it's quite easy to stay in front of your computer for many hours and not to stay even for a coffee, because there's nobody at your kitchen and there is no reason to go there. So I found a quite satisfying for me way. So I'm working 4 hours at the morning. After that, I'm taking 1 hour break for exercises, for a shower after exercises and the lunch. And after that, I'm working 4 more hours. And after changing my life into this kind of schedule, for me, it was a lot easier to sit in front of computer for many hours, because even after 4 hours, that second 4 hours of work, I'm closing my work computer and putting in on the left of me, and I'm just powering on my second computer, that's my home computer, and I'm still programming. So after not only 8 hours, but 8 hours of work in BigPicture, and the rest of the day working on my personal pet projects or speakers thing and so on. So yeah, if you can, try to do one longer break in the middle of your day, you'll find out that it works.
Perfect. So regarding conferences, you will be a speaker at NG Poland 2021. What are you preparing for this year's edition?
Okay, so the presentation name is Angular, things we love, things we hate. As always, there are some parts of framework that we don't like. It's not working, or we are just angry when we want to take this kind
achieve
of thing.
Something,
and I ask myself what I hate about Angular, so I write the slides down, and after that I thought maybe it's only my opinion. So I asked my friends at the BigPicture what they hate, what they like in Angular. And after that, I thought that, but I'm still asking someone that is working in the same project. So probably the things that they love, that they hate, will be the same. So I decided to ask the whole internet. So I posted the form on Reddit, on official Angular Reddit. And after a few days, I had few answers on this. And you know what? We all hate the same things. We all love the same things. So it's something amazing, something universal in Angular that we don't like. So if it's really true that we don't like those things, we should change them.
Exactly.
Good. And it's a lesson from the whole speech that there are some things that are not good in Angular, but we can change it. We can make it better.
Exactly. Thank you so much for this great conversation. It was very nice to host you today. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to your presentation at NG Poland.
Something like 25 days, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's very, very soon. Kamil, thank you so much. It was great to see you today and hear you today.
Thank you for having me, and we'll see you at the conference, yeah?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.